Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker is this cold front back to the west. I'll show you why we're not likely to see a whole lot of rain from it.
Redistricting fight. A new proposal from Republican state lawmakers could be approved today, creating one fewer Democratic district. The final steps before this map becomes law.
And laptop debate. Wake County Schools is considering changing who would get them. What rising costs are driving the possible changes on this. We have live reporters on that story and others that we're following this morning on WRAL News. We want to welcome you here this Tuesday morning. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. Great to have you with us. Some changes on the way with our weather. Elizabeth Gardner is tracking the front that will bring about those changes. Elizabeth.
Ahead of the front, it's actually going to be warmer than it was yesterday. We'll see a nice southerly flow. It's going to be breezy today. The front itself isn't likely to bring much rain. I keep thinking, do I want to wait and see if we're going to see any rain for watering? Don't wait. We're not going to see enough rain. On the other side of it, it's going to be breezy, and we'll see a nice drop in our temperature again. This is a look at our chance for rain. By 7 or 8 o'clock, it jumps to around 20% chance, and I think that's generous. I really feel like we're hardly going to see any rain at all with this system. If you're headed to the fair early this morning, it's chilly. Right now it's 42 degrees, but our skies are clear. It's beautiful out there. Looking through our down Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera, it looks a little bit breezy. Right now we're looking at 42 degrees, so it's chilly out there. 46 in Fayetteville, 37 in Roxborough, 41 in Goldsboro. Hour by hour, it's a quick jump to 70 at lunchtime, and we'll see a high of 78. The tropics are starting to get a little more active. We could have a new tropical system sometime in the next day or so. We'll look at that coming up. Ken?
Look forward to that, Elizabeth. At 6:01, a rather quiet start to your morning commute as we look live at I-540 and Capitol Boulevard. Many of you use I-540 as an alternate east-west route. As you can see, traffic flowing nicely in all directions this morning, which is really good news. As far as other routes coming into the capital city, we're just seeing a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1, but you're coming in on 87. You're coming on US 1 north from Apex, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
State Highway Patrol says a crash on I-95 this morning left people seriously hurt. And this happened in Cumberland County near Chickenfoot Road before 1 a.m. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was at that scene, and you can see a tractor trailer and a car were involved in the crash. A trooper told our crew at that scene the tractor trailer driver was impaired. And so we're working to learn how many people were hurt and the full extent of their injuries.
We are trying to find out what caused a fire that shut down part of US 70 near Goldsboro overnight. Authorities in Wayne County say a grain dryer caught fire late last night. The address listed is for the New Hope Milling Company. Several agencies responded to the fire. The Sheriff's Office and NCDOT shut down the westbound lane on US 70 while crews were working. No injuries have been reported.
Raleigh police are investigating a case involving a slow-moving train hitting a vehicle near the state fairgrounds. This happened late last night at the intersection of Hillsborough Street and Powell Drive. But it's not clear if anyone was in the car. We do know no injuries were reported. Today, state lawmakers returned to the Capitol to vote on new congressional maps. And the new proposal would give Republicans an extra seat in next year's midterms. Let's go ahead and bring in Laura Levine. She's live on that story this morning. Laura, there are still a few more hurdles the map needs to go through before it becomes law.
Chris, good morning. North Carolina Republicans could vote as soon as today to finalize the new congressional map that aims really to protect the GOP's slim majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. So taking a look at the current map compared to what is being proposed here, the new map would make 11 of the state's 14 congressional districts favor Republicans, up from 10 in the current map. The Senate gave initial approval to the districts yesterday. After a final Senate vote today, the map is expected to head to the House for a series of votes. So the changes are expected to oust one of the state's 3 black members of Congress by carving up an area of eastern North Carolina with a large black population. Republicans said they didn't use racial data to redraw the maps. Rather, they said they used political data. Now, Democrats today are expected to protest the move at the state legislature. They're also accusing Republican legislators of racism during this process. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Raleigh.
And all of our in-depth coverage of the push for new congressional maps can be found under the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Happening today, advocates will gather in Raleigh to oppose cuts to North Carolina's Medicaid program. More than 24 groups are gathering for the Medicaid Day of Action. This comes weeks after cuts to the state's Medicaid program took effect. Governor Josh Stein has previously said this was due to the lack of an agreement on the state budget. State lawmakers have questioned that decision. Today, advocates are expected to call on state lawmakers and the governor to come together and agree on funding. They're holding a news conference at 11 a.m. Also happening today, Wake County school leaders will be talking about who should get school-issued laptops. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live this morning at Wake County Public School headquarters. And Kelsey, the board will be talking about how necessary computers are for certain grades.
Yes, Renee, Wake County parents, your students have been receiving school-issued laptops similar to this one since 2020. And today, school leaders are considering changing that. All Wake County students were given laptops at the start of the pandemic. Wake Schools is like most districts in the state. They didn't give out laptops until COVID, and they used federal pandemic relief dollars to do it.
That money ran out last year, and the Department of Public Instruction surveyed all these schools of, hey, can you replace these laptops? And the vast majority of them, including Wake County schools, said they could not.
Now the district uses money out of their facilities budget to pay for laptops. With mounting facility issues like broken HVAC systems, some school leaders think this money could be used elsewhere. So today's meeting that's scheduled for 2:30 here at the Wake County Schools headquarters is just going to be a discussion. There's no vote. And if any changes are made, they won't go into effect until next school year. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
And the school board is expected to talk about reassignment plans as well and changes to special education. We'll have the latest on that meeting in our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m.
Tonight, you have another chance to weigh in on the future of land near RDU. Now, this is land that used to be part of Lake Crabtree Park. RDU has plans to redevelop nearly 140 acres on Aviation Parkway into a recreation destination. This will include hotels, restaurants, and entertainment. The airport is hosting a public workshop on the plans tonight, and that will be at the Frontier RTP Building 700 on Park Offices Drive from 4 to 7 p.m.
Today is the 21st day of the government shutdown as we look live at Capitol Hill. There is no deal on a spending bill in sight, as this has now become the second longest shutdown in history. Lawmakers in the Senate rejected a stopgap bill for the 11th time yesterday evening. Both parties have been in a standoff for weeks now over enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies as part of a new spending bill. Federal workers have been furloughed for weeks. Many essential workers have had to work without pay.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Vice President J.D. Vance has arrived in Israel to try and shore up that very fragile U.S.-backed ceasefire deal in Gaza. Now, that has really teetered over the past couple of days following some deadly violence and questions on how they can move forward. Vance is expected to be in the region until Thursday. He'll meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He'll also hold a news conference this evening in Jerusalem and will meet with families of hostages whose bodies are being held in Gaza, as well as the living hostages released last week. Israel is still waiting for Hamas to turn over the remains of 15 deceased hostages. 13 bodies have been released since that ceasefire began. After trading strikes earlier this week, Hamas negotiators reiterated that that group is committed to ensuring the war ends once and for all.
Amazon Web Services, the way you're able to access many of your phone apps, seems to be working again. As of last night, Amazon said the outage was resolved. Several social media, news, and banking websites began reporting problems early yesterday morning. Even Amazon deliveries were affected. The people we spoke with, someone, in fact, who works for an insurance agency, says it was far from business as usual.
A lot of it has just been kind of putting out fires constantly just because there's issues here and there, and we're really trying to make sure that everybody is able to get access. It really makes you think like how much we're relying on this thing, and is that a good thing? Is that a healthy way to sustain ourselves? And maybe companies should come up with backup plans.
And this was actually the largest cyber outage since the CrowdStrike crash in July last year. Oh, tonight the wait is over. The NBA is returning to NBC, and we have a doubleheader to tip off the new season. The Houston Rockets play the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Golden State Warriors take on the LA Lakers. The action begins tonight at 7 o'clock on WRAL.
And later this morning on the Today Show, the ultimate NBA tip-off preview. Commissioner Adam Silver will be there for an exclusive interview. Plus, the return of the beloved song Round Ball Rock. John Tesh will be performing the iconic theme song live on the Today Show with his 12-piece band. And you're taking a live look at Tesh right there and the band getting ready for their performance. Right now on our WRAL YouTube page. You can also check out my interview with John Tesh when he came to the station about a month ago. Seriously, the nicest guy, and it was a great chat. We talked about his new album called Sports. It is 6:10 now. Back in the legislature, a state lawmaker is back at work after being charged with DWI over the weekend. The response from the top leader in his party.
And DMV progress. Changes to the licensing process aims to cut down wait times. How they could help you avoid the lines.
And we have a cold front crossing the area. That's our weather maker for this evening. We have a very small chance of rain later on. I'll show you why we're just not likely to see a whole lot of rain out of this and when our next chance will be.
And here's a look at the winning Powerball numbers: 32, 38, 66, 67, and 69. The Powerball is 19. The multiplier is 2.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14. It's nice and quiet right now, but our next weather maker is this cold front that's back to the west. We're actually going to be warmer this afternoon ahead of the front, and the front is going to be mainly rain-free. There's a little bit of rain starting to move over here into Mississippi, but it's well to our south. I'm giving it a 20% chance. I think that's generous. I feel like once this rain moves across our area this evening, there's really just not going to be much left of it. But it's worth letting you know that there's a possibility, especially if you're headed to the fair this evening. 42 in Wilson and in Durham. It's 46 in Fayetteville. So it's a chilly start. Our skies are clear. It's going to be a pretty sunrise heading out the door this morning. Definitely the jacket, maybe even a coat out there. We are looking at breezy conditions through the afternoon, but it's going to be nice and warm. As the kids are getting off the bus, temperatures will climb into the upper 70s. We also have a developing tropical system we'll check out coming up in just a few minutes. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:14, no major incidents to report anywhere in Ray County. So we thought we'd give you a look at Trinity Road and Carter Finley. This is not far from the State Fairgrounds, where the State Fair will be getting underway around 9 o'clock this morning. And all morning long, I'll be letting you know how the traffic is shaping up around the fairgrounds right here. You see Blue Ridge and Hillsborough, nothing but green showing up right now. But really and truly, on all our major routes from Wendell to Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour.
As lawmakers debate new maps today, a state senator was back at work at the legislative building. We're talking about less than 48 hours after his DWI arrest, and now his boss is reacting to this. Senator Norman Sanderson represents 8 eastern North Carolina counties. He was arrested by State Highway Patrol near the NC State Fairgrounds over the weekend. Court documents show he had a blood alcohol content of 0.16. That's twice the legal limit. Sanderson was present during yesterday's Senate Elections Committee meeting, but then left quickly after it ended and did not talk to our reporter. And so we wanted to know how state leaders would hold the senator accountable. Take a listen to an exchange with our Will Doran.
There are 2 lawmakers recently who've been arrested, Representative Brockman, Senator Sanderson. What do you think should happen with both of them? Should they resign?
So I think the legal process obviously has to work out. I know there have been folks on the House side that are looking at steps to take for Representative Brockman and attempting or a question about whether or not he ought to resign or should be removed. Remember, the situation with Senator Sanderson just happened over the weekend. I am not in a position at this point and don't anticipate I will be in a position to ask him to resign.
And I should mention that Sanderson did release a statement apologizing for what happened. He's charged with driving while impaired, failure to obey a traffic officer, and transporting an open container of alcohol. He's scheduled to appear in court on November 7th.
Former President Joe Biden is reportedly doing well after completing radiation for an aggressive form of prostate cancer. That's according to a Biden spokesperson. The former president announced his cancer diagnosis back in May. It's not yet known if he will need any additional treatment or what the next steps are in his care. Biden turns 83 next month.
Teams are demolishing part of the White House's East Wing, and this is part of President Donald Trump's plan to build a new 90,000 square foot ballroom. Teams were at the White House yesterday tearing out the walls and the windows, and once it's finished, the new ballroom will be able to hold nearly 1,000 people. Work is expected to be completed before the end of his term.
18,000 drivers have renewed their licenses online since a new state law took effect aimed at cutting down on long lines at the DMV. The new policy took effect 2 weeks ago. It expanded online renewal options for driver's licenses, reducing the need for in-person visits. The DMV is also making progress in hiring more examiners. They tell us 95% of the state's positions are filled. The agency's commissioner also says the ability for teen drivers to upgrade their licenses to drive after 9 at night should be available in the coming weeks.
In just a few hours, the state fair gates will open for another day. Tens of thousands of people are expected to head to the fairgrounds over the next few days. In fact, nearly 200,000 people were at the state fair over the opening weekend. There were more than 105,000 visitors on Saturday and more than 91,000 on Sunday. The fair will run through this Sunday. And if you're going to be there today, might as well stop on by the WRAL booth. Michelle McConaughey and Ken Smith will be there this morning. That is from 10:30 until 11:30. And then Ashley Rowe and Gerald Owens will be there from 2 to 3 p.m. Elizabeth Gardner, she already did your stint yesterday at the state fair, bouncing around there near the carousel. That was fun. And today is going to be a nice day for people to get out there again.
It is. Yeah, the bungee, the Euro bungee right there behind the carousel. One of my favorites. It was a lot of fun. Such a beautiful day. Wake County School traditional calendar was, they had a teacher work day. It was jam-packed out there yesterday. The weather was just so nice. I would expect it to be a little quieter there today. And, you know, with a little bit of rain in the forecast this evening, that could scare away a few people. And so that's when I would go. 42 is our current temperature. I'll actually be out there again Friday and Saturday if you want to come by and say hello. This is our next weather maker. It's pretty much rain-free right now. A little bit of rain in the southern part of this front moving into Mississippi. Ahead of the front, we're going to see a flow coming out of the south. So it's going to be a warm day for us today. It's a chilly start, but warmer this afternoon. We don't even see any clouds today until closer to 6 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, that rain is back to our west, and then it just really falls apart over us. I'm giving it a 20% chance just to kind of cover the bases, but I don't think we'll really see any measurable rain out of the system at all. It is likely to be breezy this afternoon and again tomorrow with gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, especially like Thursday and Friday morning, our temperatures are going to be really chilly. This is a look at our potential for rain out of this system really all the way through the next 7 days. So that covers a chance for rain on Sunday night into Monday as well. We're looking at 1/100 of an inch or less. We are dry all the way through Saturday. This is a good looking state fair forecast in terms of rain, but we do need some rain. We have a tropical system that is looking more and more likely to develop. It's a 90% chance in the next couple of days. And the next name on the list is Melissa. The computer models want to bring this north over the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and then potentially out into the Atlantic. So it doesn't look like it's going to affect the United States, but this is something that we may be watching for a week or so. We're going to be watching chilly temperatures, especially Friday morning. We drop down to 41, and then it's a little bit milder for the weekend. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL traffic center. We want to start on the northern loop of the Beltline. Give you a live look at I-440 and Glenwood Avenue. You can see traffic flowing nicely in all directions, which is really good news. You're about to head out the door this morning because, well, and truly, when you look at the big picture in terms of the entire route from the I-440 87 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue, nothing but delay-free. And that's what we're seeing on all of our major routes this morning because we're not getting any reports of any major incidents happening in Wake County, which is really good. Just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in on 87 out of Nidell, and similarly, just a 1-minute delay, which is really not a delay, really, coming in from Wake Forest this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Supporting teen drivers. It can be expensive when they hit the road for the first time. 5 on Your Side has steps you can take to save your family hundreds of dollars a year in insurance costs.
And hope for a Swiftie. How this girl's favorite singer helped the family during the worst time of their lives.
If you see breaking news, have a story idea, or take video or pictures of the weather where you are, report it to us. Go to WRAL.com/report it. You can send your video, pictures, or tip right to our news team.
All right, so the Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to a 2-year-old North Carolina girl battling a rare form of cancer. Lila has what's called an atypical teratoid rhabdoid tumor. She was diagnosed at 18 months old. And Lila is such a big Taylor Swift fan. With the help of her family and TikTok, she managed to catch Swift's eye.
I did not expect Taylor to see it or to do anything about it. I was just excited that more people were seeing our story and seeing our situation and what was going on. I truly am so blessed and feel so grateful to have this happen to us. I never dreamt of it, and just thank you.
So many people have donated since. In fact, we're talking about more than double the initial donation amount for the family is now through their GoFundMe page. The family is currently in Philadelphia for treatment, and they plan to return to North Carolina in November.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A big casting announcement for the Wicked sequel, and an actor with ALS brings his condition to a new role.
Yeah, breaking all that down for us is Ken Smith here on What's Trending.
Yeah, Chris and Renee, another name being added to the star-studded cast of Wicked for Good. Coleman Domingo, the Oscar-nominated actor, will be playing the Cowardly Lion. The casting was teased by director John M. Chu and later confirmed by Domingo himself.
Yeah, the sequel to Wicked hits theaters November 21st. Remember when it seemed like it would be an eternity? It's coming up soon, right? And we're still waiting to find out who will play Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. But Domingo,
good choice.
Good choice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Actor Eric Dane taking on a role that hits close to home. He's set to be a guest star in NBC's Brilliant Minds. He will play a firefighter battling ALS. And earlier this year, you recall, Dane announced his own battle with that disease.
And you have to wonder, emotionally how he's prepared himself for this. I mean, obviously he's a professional, he's an actor, but going through this and then being able to, perform, having such a close connection to it, very powerful experience for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you. 6:26 now, redistricting vote. New maps are one step closer to becoming law. The changes potentially in store for next year's midterms.
And cracking down on noise, Raleigh is considering new ordinances for downtown. Why specific areas are being targeted.
And our next weather maker is a cold front that'll swing through today, mainly bringing us breezy conditions and some cooler air behind it. But there's a small chance for rain this evening. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast.